As my contribution to our Polio Plus auction this year, I'm going to offer a service. I started doing family history research back in the mid 1970s when I was a teenager. We lived in Washington, D.C. area at the time, and my dad was posted near the Pentagon. I'd ride to work with him in the morning, catch the subway downtown, and then walk either to the National Archives or the DAR library. Yes, times were different then. I'm not sure I would have let my teenage kids wander around Washington by themselves. Been working on my own family history since that time. When I got married in 1984, I started working on my wife's families as well. Since that time, I've also helped many other people do their own family history research. For the auction this year, I'm offering my services to work on your family history using the internet sources I have. I've been doing online research since the 1980s, so I have some experience at that. I use my subscription to Ancestry as well as numerous county records that are available online. Here are some caveats. First, sometimes I find something, sometimes even quite a bit, but sometimes I find nothing at all. Some people's families, like branches of my own, seem to have had a habit of hiding from record keepers. Also, sometimes what I find can be unpleasant. One of my wife's ancestors was a man named Charles Rivers. He's an elusive fellow. The earliest record I have of him is on a tax roll in Nacogdoches County back in 1883. The last record I have is the wanted poster and the newspaper stories about the man he murdered in 1890 and how he went on the run and disappeared. Family stories, of course, offer justification for what he did. Sheriff Spradley and the other sources in the official records, not so much. Sometimes what we've been told by our forebears is correct, sometimes not. Sometimes it's just garbled. The sweet spot for finding people online is between 1850 and 1950. Many records are available for that period. Newer records tend not to be as available, mostly for privacy issues. Older records are more likely to have been lost or destroyed. Also, some parts of the world are easier for me to research than others. I do most of my work in U.S. records. Even with the U.S., quality and availability varies from state to state. I have access to some European records through Ancestry, but my skills are more limited there. DNA is a useful tool, and if you'd like, I can consult with you about which DNA tests might be most useful for learning about your family. You've probably seen ads showing people using their DNA to find out their ancestral origins, and it'll show a pie chart, maybe even show them in costume and speaking a language. In my opinion, those ethnic estimates and charts are mostly for entertainment. They have some value, but that value is primarily suggestive. Much more useful are the links that the tests provide to other people who have also submitted their DNA for research. If you want me to connect your family to royalty or nobility, I'd suggest looking elsewhere. There was a spate of genealogical books produced back in the late 1800s that offered customers such connections. I've even seen some that take the family as far back as Adam. I'm not a Gustave Anjou that's willing to make up things to please paying customers. If you decide to take me up on this offer, the next step is to meet up either in person or online and talk about the people you want me to research. Knowing at least some names, dates, and places will get us started. I hope at least one of you is willing to consider this opportunity as we seek to raise funds to fight polio around the world.